Welcome back, everybody, and thank you very much for joining us. A little bit earlier on, of course, we were talking to the president of SALGA as well as the CEO of the association. Well, members of SALGA and members of the inaugural SALGA Council of Mayors, we have 4 mayors that are sitting with us now, and I'm going to introduce them to you. And remember, you can pose questions to them, but also want to get a sense of some of the challenges that they're facing. Some are new to this whole game of being councillors, and they're sitting as mayors, but some have been able, in a short period of time and over time, have some successes, and let's hear what their story has been. As we say, good morning to Councillor Solim Samanga, Executive Mayor of the City of Tshwane. Welcome, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Peter, and good morning to you.
Next to you, Councillor Lindiwe Nchali, the Executive Mayor of Emalahleni Local Municipal Council. Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to you. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Good morning, Peter, and our viewers at home.
To Councillor Mike Masina, Mayor of the Steve Tshwete Local Municipality. Welcome to you.
Morning, Peter. Thanks, and morning to the viewers at home.
Wow, what a voice for broadcasting. And then next to you, the Mayor of the OR Tambo District Municipality, Councillor Nomakhausazana Meth. Thank you very much for joining us, and welcome to you.
Thanks for having me, Peter. Good morning to you and the viewers at home.
All right, okay, let's just do a quick round robin. You've all been in the job, re-elected, elected in the last 11 months. Let's start with you, City of Tshwane. We saw some tables being overturned for sure, but what is new? What are you bringing to the table? What's the new agenda? What have you been able to do in this short period of time?
Well, Peter, thank you very much. I don't think there's a new agenda. The agenda has been the same. The agenda is to transform the capital city to be a city that all South Africans can be proud of. It's how we are going about it that becomes the difference. And what we've decided to do is to be more transparent, to be more prudent in how we spend taxpayers' money, and to ensure that money goes towards service delivery, not towards things that are not really necessary. You know that we inherited a municipality that had a 2 billion rand deficit. Now, to start changing that around means that you have to be more prudent in terms of how you spend money. You need to be careful in terms of what you prioritize. And more than that, you need to ensure that you engage with your communities so that the communities know exactly what is coming to them and when it's coming to them and how it's coming to them. So that's what has been now our agenda. Now, you're asking us what we have been doing that is new. I've done away with the mayoral house. I know mayors want mayoral houses. I mean, we've spent 12 million rand in renovating the house, and the house doesn't look like anything close to 12 million rand. So we've got rid of that. I've got rid of the blue lights in the city. We've introduced a new anti-hijack unit in the city. We've introduced a drug unit in the city. We've introduced a cable theft unit in the city, which is a big problem in South Africa. I don't know why South Africa is one of the biggest exporters of copper, yet we don't even have a copper mine in South Africa. And national and provincial government need to assist us in really addressing this issue. So that is one of the things that at a municipal level we've already started dealing with. We've also introduced an open tender system. All our tenders right now are adjudicated in public. There's no tender that is adjudicated behind closed doors for transparency and to ensure that we get the best value for money. We also introduced an e-procurement system that is also now looking into ensuring that we get the best bang for our buck. So that is what we've introduced right now. It's going to be a long road. We're very much aware of that, but we've started hitting the ground running.
Okay, so Emalahleni, what are some of the challenges and some of the successes that you've been able to overcome or still have to deal with?
Thank you very much. In Emalahleni, one of the challenges that we're having is an aged infrastructure. Emalahleni is more than 100 years old, so most of our infrastructure in terms of your water, your sewer, your electrical is still updated, unfortunately. And our roads are not in a good condition. But as a municipality, we've established working relationship with private sectors where they are coming in to invest in our municipality. so that we can make sure that we revamp the infrastructure that is dilapidated. But most of the challenge, because we are a mining town, there's a lot of influx of people coming to Emalahleni for job opportunities, for greener pastures, and they tend to invade land, and which is the municipality problem because we haven't planned for such people to be in our city. And also, as a mining town, you've got people that resides in your municipality, consume your services, but they are not counted in your municipality. Remember, your equitable share comes in a form of the population that you're having. But most of these people are migrant workers. They don't reside in Emalahleni. So our shares, equitable share from the national government does not meet us in terms of the people that we're hosting daily in our municipality. And that causes strain in our infrastructure. But also the challenge that is bigger is the land invasion. It's stealing of electricity, people illegally connecting themselves. Hence in Emalahleni we had a challenge of owing ESCOM because most of the people don't want to pay for services and they need municipalities to provide services. So as a municipality we have that challenge, and hence now we have introduced the issues of your smart metering, working closely with our communities to say pay for the services that you consume, because definitely if people can't pay for services, municipality will never provide sustainable service delivery. That is our main challenge. But what we have done also, because there was a lot of mine that shut down and your Highveld still, it has just been resuscitated. A lot of people lost employment and it has affected the municipality drastically. But we were on a drive and a campaign to people to say they must be responsible citizens, pay for the services, love Emalahleni, make sure that we put Malahleni back on the map, because surely we cannot provide services and people don't own up to. One of the speakers in the yesterday's meeting, they said people will prioritize to pay for their West Bank or whatever car installment, not the municipality. We are a last priority. So that affects us a lot. Also, the issue of good governance is one of the issues that we've been pushing in the municipality to say we need to improve on the audit opinion by AG. Hence, we said good governance, clean administration. There are some systems that we've put through supply chain, and also making sure that whatever that we do, we comply with the pieces of legislation that governs our institution. And also the issue of the challenge of water outages in our municipality, interruption of the supply of electricity, because there's a lot of vandalism in municipalities. I'm not sure whether it's a sabotage to municipalities or one way or the other. In Emalahleni, there's cable theft, disruption of services, stealing of pumps that are pumping water. So we see it as more of the sabotage, but we're saying we are creating a platform where, as a resident of Emalahleni, I must guard the infrastructure that is there, because it's not in municipal assets. We all contribute for that asset.
So you're talking as if there needs to be a whole kind of shift in the citizens of Emalahleni, how they behave, comply, pay for their services, a whole culture change actually. But we'll explore a lot of that as much as we can. But I just want to give the other mayors a chance as well. Steve Schwetter has had some successes as well. You've had some big wins. Yeah.
Absolutely. We regard ourselves as the core custodians of back to basics concept. In actual fact, when it was launched in 2014, the then Kokta minister, together with his deputy, Gordon and Andres Nel, visited us, and they looked at our systems, and we were invited to make special presentation at the Presidential Local Government Summit. I think it was around September. We stick to the basics. That is our secret. Key amongst that, of course, the institutional capacity, and I always say it is divided into three. Appointment of suitably qualified personnel, 1. 2, appointment of suitably qualified personnel. 3, appointment of suitably qualified personnel. Very key. Yes. And yes, you also talk of good and clean governance. You make it a point that you adhere to legislation that will make your work very easy, and you put people first. That is Batupili, which is why after each and every council sitting, we make sure that we go back and report back to our constituencies, wherein they will raise issues, and of course, we will respond to those that are within our competence. But also, what is also important, the communication. You know, when we're going to have electricity and water outages, we send SMSs, we communicate, and that makes things a little bit easy for us. Yeah, I think in a nutshell, this is the secret of our success, of our success.
Oh, wonderful story. Okay, let's turn our attention to OR Tambo District Municipality. And Councillor Meth, some people still don't quite understand the function of a district municipality, because you have local municipalities underneath you. We get the metro, we get the local municipality. This district portion, isn't this a doubling of functions? Take us through the district municipality experience and some of the challenges and successes that you're facing at that level.
Thank you very much, Peter. We are a 1.4 million population district municipality, very rural. 93% of our inhabitants live in rural areas, with only a 2.6 billion annual budget, with 5 local municipalities under us. All the mayors are here in the room today. We are a municipality that have a lot of success stories to tell, because since 2013-14, after 5 years of consistent disclaimer opinions by AG, we managed to recover from that. We are now unqualified, which are targeting unqualified, and we want to be clean as a municipality. Again, we've been experiencing a serious challenge of under-expenditure on MIG, but since 2013-14 again, we spend all the MIG funding consistently all the years, and we are a municipality that is giving services to the people almost at a very, because indigent, if then you talk of the standards that we are supplying to our people is 200 meters to those who are rural from the households, which says therefore we are supplying those services free of charge, and we are doing that, and we are also confident because as though we've been declared as the poorest district, and we still remain as such in the country by all the presidents, starting from the first democratic president, Tatu Nelson Mandela, followed by the second president, Tatu Mbeki, who declared us as a development node, and the president currently went an extra mile of practically intervening by making us a pilot on the infrastructure renewal. We are under what is called KSD, presidential intervention. So far, we spend more than 3 billion of infrastructure, in particular for primary water services and primary bulk on sanitation. And we are having big reservoirs to make sure that we give people sustainable water services, because we migrated from the standalone, sometimes dysfunctional schemes that we incurred from the then dwarf, and we are now making sure that we'll have those sustainable services to our people. We also are very proud of ourselves because we've been piloted as one of the NHI sites, again piloted for broadband, and in that we are turning the situation around for our people. Coming to the internal capacity, we've been also faced with a serious challenge of having a low skills base with no organogram that was adopted, but we've adopted the organogram. We're starting to populate now that organogram with highly skilled personnel, which is the reason why you are seeing this positive movement. And we are confident because we're engaging our people from time to time. And even the district is unique because it is the only district in the country that is oversighted directly by the National Treasury, so we are non-delegated. And we are very happy with the feedback that we got, in particular in the last budget that we presented to Council, to say our budget is critical affordable, it is aligned to the IDP, it is sustainable, it is cash-backed. And in terms of M-score, which is a new requirement that has been introduced by National Treasury, we're told we are the second in the country after Salt Plaatje in terms of M-score compliant. So we are indeed moving, and we are making sure that the radical economic transformation that is a trend of the national government. Also, we are talking to our policies. We've since changed our policies to make sure that in terms of preferential procurement policy, our supply chain management targets the local small businesses. The 1 million to 30 million tenders, we make it compulsory for those service providers to subcontract our local people and ensure that we pay within 30 days. So we are that municipality. Of course, we've got a lot of serious challenges. Okay. The issues of debt that are not paid by people owed to us. We are also having debt with the Department of Water, but those challenges we are addressing.
Okay, I want to get to the bottom of this, why we don't pay. What is it? Is this a hang-up from the apartheid era? But if you could help us with that, because we need to communicate this, and that actually us as citizens are the ones that are suffering at the end of it. But let's take a quick break first.